Hello, everybody. It's Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. How about this? An early morning Sunday edition. Yes, sir. Well, in the news while you were may have been sleeping. This is excuse me a minute, I had a little oatmeal raisin cookie this morning with my hot tea, and it got in the wrong zone. Anyway, here's Syria, and this is jubilation because he's gone. And the late breaking news, which hasn't hit the news yet, because I'm reporting it from one source only, and a lot of the media like to get, more than one source. But somebody was tracking his escape airplane with presumably family members with him and senior, officials, that the plane went down, that it flew. Let's see if I have a course. It flew over Homs, and then right where that red dot is right there, the plane made a U-turn, came back here, and went down fast. So whatever might have been going on in that airplane, he may be El Gano, not only absent the country, but gone. And probably they should go through that records. There's probably money and millions of dollars and $100 bills, a couple of extra suitcases that were a little heavier than normal. It may have flown overweight. Who knows? And when you fly overweight, you hate to throw out a bag of gold. Come on, see if you can get it, so. But it looked like it was into flight 20 or 30 minutes. And then made a hard U-turn, and then started coming back. And then this is from FlightAware. And someone picked up that, the tail number from the transponder that constantly sends down signals. Yep. So he may have seen it untimely. I'm trying to. There we go. It bumped into this camera. We don't need to see that support rod. Excuse me while I redecorate my studio here. My American flag almost went topsy-turvy. It should be up that way. Oh, this is what's wrong. There we go. Now we got I got an American flag here. I don't want to lose it. There's no earthquakes here. We're in good shape. Anyway, so Assad is gone, and he may be gone. But this was at 12. I just happened to be cruising around. Notice this that came up on the news. I was sitting on my sofa, and I took this image is using my camera, my trusty 16 Pro Max camera with advanced sums of memory and storage. I think I got a tetrabyte of storage. You can't pick the memory, I don't think, no. But they usually throw in an extra couple of gigabytes of memory if you max out on the storage. I think they might have offered 2 tetrabytes. I got 1 terabyte. That's a little bit of a guess on the phone specs, but I'm way up there on the terabytes. You know, and with the higher quality videos and you know, it seems like every time, or every other time, like every other year, so every 2 years, I have to double up on the storage. So next time, I'll be ready to get 2 terabytes because I've got 90 on the phone, which is a great number, but that's what I got. Let me look on the phone. I just happen to have the phone here. Settings, general, about, 1 terabyte of storage, and I'm using and I have 453 gigabytes available. That means I'm a little past the halfway point. And I do have 96,300 photos and 496 videos. Yeah, I'm sure you're up early this morning just waiting for that piece of information. Yes, sir. Oh, boy. Just got a reminder from AT&T to pay the bill. Yeah, they're Johnny on the spot with their bill. Yeah, I pay it. Yeah, you gotta pay it. I got 2 adult children, and 10 devices. You know, so got a lot of things going on here. So I'll make sure as soon as this broadcast is over, I'm going to slip over to the AT&T site and pay the bill. Anyways, Syrian government appears to have fallen after more than 50 years of oppressive rule by the family. Yeah, there's a controlling areas of, you know, you got the Houthis and the Tutsis and the SDF and the Al-Talaf, and you can see there the 1, 2, 3, the 7 different factions of Syria. City of Damascus. Yeah. That's where he took off from. He skedoodled with his private airplane. And we haven't heard from it. Yeah, the news said it was heading towards Homs and then took a U-turn near Homs, just west of Homs. I actually, showing my ignorance, didn't realize that Syria was that large. I thought it was a smaller area than that. See, the green up on the top is the STF, whatever that is. Pro-regime forces is all of this beige color surrounding the word homes in Syria. And then you get into some the HTS-led opposition is all, yeah. You see that air dog area. All right, well, looks like he went down. Hold on a minute. What did I say? When nature calls, you have to answer. The sneeze was building up. I'm thinking, oh, darn. There's no way of masking this sneeze, Rooney. There's Assad. Yeah. I remember him. Tall, skinny guy. Yeah. There you go. There's down the streets of middle of Syria. It's their regional partners. There you go. Watch there. Remember when Saddam Hussein went down? Yep, there he goes. Here goes Assad. Here today. 1, 2, 3. Boom. That was standing 25, 30 feet tall, and it's now gone. Yep, and everyone's cheering, and yeah, the video keeps repeating itself. There's Governor DeSantis. He looks rather stately. He's got that, maybe I'm gonna make a deal with Trump on SecDev, Secretary of Defense. The military calls SecDev. Oh yeah, here's what Syrian IL-76T coming from Damascus. Lost fast altitude near homes. And if I do a little expando, you can see there's the tail number. SYR9218. That's the transponder number. Yeah. That's what their air traffic controllers, that beacon comes out of the bottom of the airplane. There's a little sensor, transducer, which, every half second, that GPS signal comes out of the airplane. It made a U-turn and down. That's who knows? You got Lebanese, you got all kinds of stuff going on. Jeez. You got Tel Aviv, you see that airport. Lebanon, who knows? Maybe Lebanese shot it down. This is coming near Tripoli. Who knows? Everybody's fast on the trigger. This was a couple minute. It actually showed the aircraft taking the circuitous route and went over the mountains and get out of Dodge. Anyway, there are rumors it was Assad's plane. No one has confirmed this. This was at 10 p.m. last night. I didn't get it until 7:28 a.m. this morning. You see on the top there. Oops. Yeah, it was midnight when it circulated around the news. Now, this news of the plane going down, that's real. That's, the Associated Press has, and that's generally the news agency. That'll be all over that. They would dispatch people in the area to find, see if there is a crash site that can be, or if it landed, who knows. With the message rapid fall, that usually means the plane stalled out, and went down. This, could very well be overweight. Among a variety of engine problems, could have been shot with an RPG. Who the heck knows? Yeah, people are real trigger happy up there. And when they celebrate, they're like this, firing their weapons. Do they not realize that the bullets come down somewhere? And when you're firing up there, you can end up shooting. You might have gotten real lucky and shot the pilot. When the Lebanese heard about Assad being, a lot of people didn't like Assad. You had to like him if he was pointing rifles at you. But, otherwise, he's a force you have to contend with. There you gotta plug this sucker in, yeah. There we go. There's our leader. When there was an event that just ended, they handed him the championship belt. The world, whatever they call it. You can see the word world there. World champion. Yeah, that's what that word is. And this is the UEBU. Something. I'm sorry. I'm so stupido. I don't. It was a big match. Yeah. Oh, here, maybe this will say. The resistance is still in shock that everyone is applauding Trump wherever he goes. Yeah. The Trump train keeps on rolling. The so-called resistance is still in shock, if not prematurely surrendering. Some among the mainstream news media are already engaging in what historian Timothy Snyder describes as anticipatory. I mean, come on. Anticipated obedience. Oh, really? Yeah. Trump does not have that strong a grip on everybody. Everybody is, behaving. Here's the first. This is another NYPD releases 2 new photos. I looked at both photos. This is the best one, showing the nose bridge and eyes. We don't seem to have, the ones they released yesterday were, I expect a little more revealing, but, when they do this facial recognition, they'll put a whole bunch of little dots on that one and match it up with photographs in the entire world of photographs. There's a lot of information out there in the book of knowledge every day. Trillions of bits and bytes and letters, and news people are writing articles all over the planet, right? You wonder why these, the AI servers, for example, that are being built by Tesla out in Tennessee. Central Tennessee, East Tennessee, I don't know. But they started a plant. They started building, a huge server facility in Tennessee. There had to be a reason why they chose that site. Perhaps the state of Tennessee has granted it some unmentionable goodies. There we go. We seem to be in the dark here. Let's go up a couple of lumens. There we go. Yeah. This would qualify as enough lumens to operate a New York phone book. Yeah, remember the phone booths with the telephone directories in them, and you had to page through. They're like gone because of the cell phone, and this capability of looking up numbers just by saying, "Hey, what's this phone number?" We had phone booths. My physics professor had a lumen meter. He had a bunch of them, and he gave me one. He said, "Here you are, Jimmy. Here's a prize." And I accepted it with grace. He used to be in Bell Labs, in the Bell Company. There was no Bell South at that point. Because remember the U.S. government split them up in their infinite wisdom, and now they're bigger now than they were before they split them up. But these companies, they were afraid it was a monopoly. Well, of course it's a monopoly. It's a phone company. Who has all the equipment? They divided it up into a bunch of pieces, 5 pieces, I think. Yeah. Then we had Bell South. Anyway, he worked for the original. He was my age then, and then meaning circa 1965, 66. I was a lab instructor for. I handled the laboratory sessions, and kids had, when you have 3 credit hours for, like social studies and English and a foreign language, whatever, it's usually a 3-hour course, 3 semester hours, which means 45 hours of instruction. Okay, which usually 3-hour classes, right? 15 classes. There you go. 45 hours of instruction. However, if it was a science class, like, principles of physics, rudimentary physics 101, physics 101. Well, that was a 4-hour class, 4 semester hours. That means it had 60 hours of instruction and laboratory. One time a week there was a laboratory session. Well, I did the laboratory part. I set up all the experiments and I described them to everybody, and then everybody then tried to do what I just did. If I gave them a sample of what's supposed to have happened if they assembled their experiment correctly. So I'd have the finished experiment up at the front desk, and I would demonstrate how to put it together, assemble, and then the disassemblage, and then ready, set, go. No, it wasn't timed, but it was a 3-hour laboratory, so presumably you would have 2 hours to set it up and perform the experiment, and then I would have 20 minutes of wrap up at the end of the session. Anyway, so I was a lab rat. I was one of those upperclassmen, although I wasn't that upper. I was just a sophomore, and Dr. Robert R. Reese. Dr. Robert R. Reese. 3 R's. That's the gentleman who provided for me because in Bell Labs they sent out like a troop of 500 Bell Labs people with these little hand things, and you would measure the amount of lumens, the light intensity inside phone booths all over, I believe it was Manhattan. Yeah, they were experimenting with the lighting in the Manhattan phone booths. The idea was people would, so you'd open up your phone book, you put down this little meter, open up the cover, visually look at what the test meter said, and you'd write it down on a map. They had an expanded map of all the phone booths that you were assigned, and you'd ride around all these different phone booths, measure the light intensity inside the phone booth, and then go on to the next phone booth. I mean, you didn't have to be in the phone booth more than 20 seconds. And get back in your car and drive off to the next phone booth. Yep. And the notion is that in the booths that had lower light intensity, this is like a genius to figure this out, right? Yeah. Once the illumination level of the phone booth dropped below a certain level, there would be an increased number of, you dial the operator and get her to give you the phone number. And they were trying to cut that back, so they wouldn't have to have so many operators on duty at 2 a.m. So that was the balancing act. Put a slightly brighter light bulb in all these phone booths to cut down on the errant phone number lookups requiring an operator assistance. Yeah, that was how he explained it to me 50 years ago. Yeah, probably not too far off of that. 1964. My God. 74, 84, 94, 04, 14, 24. Ooh, sorry, 60 years ago. God, it just seems like I told that story 3 minutes ago and it was 10 years ago. I seem to have a little congestion. I took a Sudafed last night. Yeah, So I guess I better. It was a 12-hour one, and I took it at like 10:30 or so. So I'm on the last hour of that Sudafed. I don't know how scientific that 12-hour span is. I took a 12-hour for some reason. Should have just taken a 24-hour. I wanted immediate relief, or as immediate as it could be. And that means the 12-hour is like faster acting, it seems. The 24-hour has a polished feeling to the pill. It's like half the size of the 24-hour. So it's time release, formulation. So, but the 12-hour, it seems like, gets in your system faster. So that's why I took the 12-hour. Now I'll take the 24-hour, since I'm already under Sudafed control, which helps to reduce the post-nasal drip, hence reduces your coughing and all that kind of stuff. Post-nasal drip is very annoying. All right, Assad. Al-Assad is gone. Flee the country before they would tear him apart. And he took family members and probably one extra security guard that got on the airplane, and it was overweight. I'll just bet you it was overweight. And that last satchel of gold bars, probably didn't help. It had 300 pounds of gold. That's, just imagine what that, well, I can tell you what that'd be worth. Let's say you had one bag of gold that weighed 300 pounds. Okay, let's get our trusty calculator out. So let's see if we can figure out the order of magnitude of this. So 300 pounds. Well, there's 16 ounces in a pound, right? Well, that would be 2,500 an ounce, round numbers, times 16 equals $40,000 per pound. And let's multiply that by, let's say you had a real heavy bag. And it weighed just a little bit more than a person. Times, because the pilot said, just one bag of gold. Times, remember now I'm making this up, but why'd the plane go down? Times 300 pound bag. So much for the 50-pound limit, huh? Here we go. That's a mere $12 million worth of gold. Yeah, that's what you want to leave with if you're Assad. I got to take at least $12 million. Come on, cut me some slack here. At $40,000 per pound. There we go, 12 million bucks. You saw the math. So if it was 150 pounds, so divide that by 2, 6 million. Isn't chump change? While we're here, let's take a look at my Amazon account. And do I have anything coming? Ah, yes. Orders. I press. Arriving today. Well, I have a bottle of lipoflavonoid. Like it's flav. It's not flav. It's flavonoid. Lipoflavonoid plus. I'll open this up. I open this up because it works. Yep. I got the 150 count bottle for $25.49, $17 a pill. It's a caplet. It's almost like a capsule, but it's squeezed powder and it's coated. They did it right. And they say on there, you got to take. Let's see if we can see in here. The reason why I'm saying this, I have no connection with the company, distributors, or anything like that. This is just a testimonial because it works. I had a very aggravating tinnitus. And tinnitus is ringing in your ear. It's like a ringing in the middle of your brain. You hear with your ears, right? So they have a picture of an ear there. It could be a question mark. I think it's an ear. And tinnitus is a ringing in one's ears. That's what tinnitus is. So if you have a ringing in your ears, which is really like a ringing in your brain, but since you always hear with your ears, you say it's a ringing in the ears, but it's actually like between the ears. It's like in the middle of your brain, or at least that's how I would say. And it's like loud. It's like 50% of your volume is this ringing. It's like a high frequency pitch or a noise, like if you had a noisy amplifier and you had this ringing sound that's high pitched, but it has a frequency. It's a high pitch, but when you take these pills, it suppresses it. It's like, I would say, instead of ringing 50% of the volume of your brain, whatever that means, but you can hear yourself talk, right? Well, I hear myself talk and I hear the ringing in the ears combined. I have these very nice noise abating, noise suppressing headphones. So the only thing I hear is epidemic in the background and the hissing of this tinnitus. And it's almost at the same level as the background music we have here with my royalty-free epidemic sound instrumental. Anyway, lipoflavonoid. You can get it at Amazon for $25.50 a bottle. And, being the cheapskate that I am, why spend more money? You have to. Exclusive Tacina complex, 1,000 milligrams. Okay, whatever it is. A choline bitartrate. Choline bitartrate. How about that word? I was a biochemist by training, and it was exercise in being able to remember, pronounce, and write down all these big words. And, so I can look at a big word, that you've never heard of in your entire life cycle. High potency lemon bioflavonoid. There you go. That's probably why they call it lipoflavonoid. Maybe it has to do with the lemon bioflavonoid complex, the vitamin B complex, B1, B2, B6, and B12. All right. 200 milligrams of vitamin C. 6.6 milligrams of niacin. Niacinamide. There's the big word. AKA niacin. And calcium. Okay. and I think the whole exterior of the pill is coated in this calcium formulation. Yeah, you get a little calcium. Your body is always starving for calcium. There you go. This is the official FDA-approved label that everything that's sealed up in a bottle or a containment of some sort. Vitamin C. You can see it. I don't have to read it all. It tells you, how many milligrams or micrograms. You got to be 4 years or older. Ingredients: cellulose. Hopefully it's not red. What was it? Red 5. It's poisonous. You see where it says red number 40? That's okay. FD&C blue number 1. No, that's all right. And the FD&C yellow number 6. Those are the colorations that are put in this silly pill to make it a different color than it would normally look if it didn't have any of those colors. I think our new cabinet appointee to the FDA or whatever it is, Health and Human Services, he's the one that's going to get rid of, red number 5 and some other. I mean, there are things in here that are actually not in these pills, but that are permitted in cereals to make it really super red, and you got the corn puffs, wheat puffs, hot puffs, all the different, these nice colored little sugary balls that kids eat before they go to school. Anyway, here's lipoflavonoid in the red bottle. They have other things known as advanced hearing support. I haven't seen this available anywhere. It's new. See how there? Doctor recommended. It's new. Recommended for. The brand is lipoflavonoid. That is the registered trademark. We have advanced hearing support. We have reduced ear ringing, which is my problem. Balanced support. So dizziness, spinning, swaying. Poor inner ear health. I'm not doing that yet. These are pills that you take when you enter the next millennium. Proactive daily ear health. Now, who doesn't want that, right? That's new. And then there's the not new. Anyway, on the label directions, I didn't see. Let's see, do I have another? No, that's the last. There you go. Find the right lipoflavonoid product for you. Okay. Well, this is the one. The red label. If you have any tinnitus, even the slightest ringing in your ear, this will clear it out. It'll reduce it. I'm telling you, it's like 10% of what it was. It was pretty loud. And it's annoying because it doesn't matter whether your eyes are open, closed, if you have earmuffs on, they're ringing in the ear. I tried lighting up my ears with laser light. You get pseudo forms of being desperate. All right, I'm out of here. I have another bottle of that coming today. What was the other? Oh, the CR2 batteries. So what's that for? Well, I'll tell you why. A picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to type in. So the way you bring up the search is you just put your finger in the middle of the screen. Like, don't touch the icon. Go between an icon and pull down. And you see there it says search all of a sudden. Magically comes up. It's a matter of the operating system of iOS 18. I'm going to type in Nest. N-E-S. And before I finish, Nest pops up on the screen. There it is. In all its glory. It's going from my... Oh, crap. Yeah, I have to go through all these. Yeah, I want this one. Yeah, we want to continue. The trick words here. So it is. There we go. Whoop. It wants me to order. Let's order now. Let's see what happens. I wanted to do that one time just to see what it looks like. Buy. Whoops. Yeah. $279. And anyway, so we'll figure out what's good about that. In the meantime, we'll go back to Nest. How do we do that? Buy now. I don't need installation. I already have it. Nest. I'm just going to go back to Nest. There we go. So we can see. So you can see in the middle of the screen, it's 74 degrees and partly cloudy outside. 74 and partly cloudy. You see it? Now it says RPP 812. Royal Palm Place 812. I call it RPP 812. And look what we have here. We have a sleeping cat. You see that door right there? Watch me move the door. Just so you know, it's live TV. I'm in my den here, and my lighting is about, I'd say 3,000 degrees Kelvin. Let's deal with the colors on the tree here. You see how it becomes more pure whitish? Yeah. That's 8,000 degrees Kelvin. And it can go real bright. Whoa! Yeah, no. This is enough. Gentle lighting. The camera, this camera, is so sensitive that I mellow the light down a little bit so we don't get sunburned in here. Anyway, so you can see my attack cat with the paws hanging out. Yeah, he's a comfortable 14 years old, so he's taking a little afternoon, a little morning nap. Remember, these are nocturnal animals. They're climbing all over the place all night long, and then when the sun comes up, whoosh, they hit the sack. In there is the kitchen. The lighting is turned down. You can see the 2 hinges on my front door. So if someone comes in the front door, they come through this little vestibule area, and they walk right through this chamber. And this camera would pick it up and send me a signal that says, "We've noticed someone in your apartment." Now, it could be me, it could be Marilyn, just coming from the kitchen to this living area. And also notably, there's the thermostat in full. It's blue like that because the compressor is running. Yeah. It's cooling. If it wasn't cooling, it would turn gray, and the word cooling above 71 would not exist. These thermostats are magnificent. You know, I've had this one for like 8 or 9 years, it seems. So it's 71 degrees, and it's cooling. It's it's like 10. It's 9:51. Yep. Oops. I lost. There we go. 9:51. Yep. You can see it up in this corner of the image, right there. That's Eastern. 71 degrees, you see. Master bedroom, 71 degrees. It comes up with a status remark similar to the temperature at the thermostat. Now the thermostat is on the main living room wall, family room wall. Living room, family room, same room, big room, real big room with an 85-inch flat screen mounted on the wall. Okay, guest room temperature. The room temperature is variable, but tends to be cooler than the thermostat. And look at that, it's 69 degrees in that room. I have a sensor in a screw top container, and it's in the credenza, in the second drawer of the credenza, right smack in the middle of the credenza, and it's 69 degrees in the guest room. It's nice to know that. In the freezer, it's -5, but notice the status remark says this room they think it's a room. This room has been slow to respond to heating and cooling changes. So it varies between 5, 6, and 7 degrees. It's presently at 5 degrees. -5, I'm sorry. -5 degrees Fahrenheit, by the way. The refrigerator, this room, is variable but tends to be cooler than the thermostat. I'll say it's 36 degrees. So I put one of these sensors, I tricked it. You know, these sensors you're supposed to put in each room and all that. And yeah, I mean, I didn't see any sense in putting a sensor in the kitchen. And I had 4 of these sensors from the prior Nest thermostat. This is a updated one that I updated in 2013, I think. Well, now it's 9 years later, right? That's why they're trying to schlep me the version 4 of that thermostat. There you go. This is in case you have a long list of these. See, refrigerator, freezer, guest room. You can custom title these: master bedroom and living room. So remember, if it's blue 71 means, I'm looking over on the part I'm shaking. 71, that's good. And the guest room is 69. That's okay. The guest room is actually closer to the main air circulation fan, the squirrel cage fan. So that vent is closest to the air handler. Put it that way. The master air handler for the entire apartment. If I were to, measure it, the guest room is the closest, and it's slightly cooler than the living room. a couple of degrees cooler. So we'll see if that changes during the day. Keep an eye on that. Anyway, -5 and 36. I keep the refrigerator a little cooler than many people do. It's not freezing temperature. It varies from 36 to 38 degrees. It doesn't go below 36. With the way the thermostats are working in there. So I felt it convenient, to be able to look here and see the refrigerator and the freezer temperatures. To have it appear. Now, if you had an extra couple of bedrooms, you can get more thermostats. The sensor, they cost like $35 a piece. So. And that includes a $6 battery. It's got a special CR2 lithium battery that lasts 10 years. And it appears that I changed the battery in the bedroom. The thermostat's hooked up to the low voltage system for the whole air conditioning system. The guest bedroom has a new battery in there. Oh, it's the freezer. This room has been slow to respond. So instead of getting a reading like every 5 or 10 minutes, it might be getting a reading every half hour because the battery is getting weak. So that's why you saw when I looked at my Amazon order pack. You see, I had these. There you go, CR2 battery. Yeah, 3 volt was $15. That's $7.50 a battery. They're little, They're like the size of my. They're like this. The 1 digit of my pinky. A little Duracell, holy mackerel. Some kind of a lithium formulation. They've been making these for quite a long time. There are certain cameras that take these batteries. It's a 3 volt high power lithium battery, long lasting. There you go. So see, for video and photo cameras, lighting equipment. Yeah, Amazon sold more than 10,000 of them last month. Well, there's a business cycle for you. Multiply 14 times 10,000. What do you get? Woo! They got $140,000 worth of gross income for this stupid battery. Holy miracle! Yeah. Guarantee. If something's not right with the battery, you call that number, they'll send you another one. Look at this, 5-star ratings. 11,600, what do you call them? Reviews. I won't bother with a review. They work beautifully. I've been using, I used to sell cameras part-time in the evening. I taught at FAU during the day, and was in a camera store in the evening. So some days I was working till 10 o'clock at night. Whew, gets a little tired. Here's a wire that I got November 30th. It's a special copper wire, oxygen-free cabling. You see, it's got 1, 2, 3, and then it's covered with this braided copper, which makes it super quiet, which you probably can't see the color, but yeah, you can. This is the wire that I use for my headphones. Right here. Yep. You may be able to see the plug right here on the end of my ear headphones. Yeah. the wire that comes with the headphones, which I've had these headphones for quite some time. This is a Sony, I think, XM4. A bunch of zeros. I forget the full model number. Yeah. It comes to a very flimsy wire, and it's short. It's not long enough. So this is a nice 6 foot length cable, and it's a heavy duty, good insulation cover. Spoken from a trooper. Yeah. There's the big picture there. There you go. Compatible with Sony headphones. Yeah, told you. There we go. You see where it says WH-1000 XM5s. Well, the year before that, it was... there it is on this side. WH-1000 XM4 right there. See it? I'm wearing these headphones right now, and I'm using this cable with these headphones. And it works all these other Sony headphones. I don't know if there's something. It looks like a pretty standard 3.5 millimeter plug, but it's probably the number of conductors in there, because it's 1, 2, 3 in the shield. That's 4. But the most important part is this little piece right here. Whether or not it has this little black spacer, which is exactly 3 millimeters in depth, and it cambers down from the diameter of this whole thing the handle part of this plug, so that it fits neatly into the socket of the headphone. Yeah. Actually, this is the straight end is in the headphone, and then this is fitting in to my my soundboard up here. Actually, up top here, I have an extra cable set in this bag, neatly tucked behind everything, so that I can plug in 2 more sets of headphones into this panel here, or I can plug it into my MacBook Pro if I'm listening to something for an extended period of time and I don't want to bother using up my soundboard. There you go. So there's that. Not for the Audio Technica M series wired headphones. Doesn't work for those because of the plug. This little black spacer, see, 3.5 millimeter connector, that's pretty standard. It's this doodad that either makes it fit in properly or not. That's why they got a big X there. Eliminates people sending them back, It connects right into your laptop. Does not connect into, let's see, is there a sound jack? Nope, not anymore. The iPad used to have a 3.5 millimeter plug. Now you have to plug it in the USB-C. Yeah. That's so. On this end would be that plug, and on that end needs to be a USB-C. I have that in the bag back here too, I think. Let's see. I'm reaching behind me. Oh boy. It may be behind this iPad. I don't need it right now, but there is a wire with a USB-C on that end and the 3-prong that goes into the headphones. And as soon as you plug it in, the iPad recognizes that it's a headphone, and it says, "Are these headphones?" and you just touch yes. Yeah. If you're watching, a news broadcast or something with your headphones, and you don't want to disturb other people with the broadcast. See, that's the micro oxygen-free copper that I was talking about. Very, very thin copper braided wire. Gives for very good insulation from other electromagnetic disturbances that may emit from other devices. And I got devices all over here. I got as many devices as one can stand. Yep. And they're all old, but for my control center here, which is a MacBook Pro, and this device right here, which is one of the newer iPads. Everything else is old. Old iPad behind here for the clock. Yeah, that's an old iPad. It's one that Marilyn uses. It's an iPad Pro, so it's not, it costs, $1,500 new. If you trade it in, they give you $150. I said, with that, I'll keep it and just use it as a clock if necessary. But Marilyn flips that around the other way, and she does her Zoom calls on the iPad. It makes for a marvelous iPad display. It's like a laptop, but you're using a iPad, and I have that sitting up on a little tripod. Anyway, I have a little, very nice little tripod. The iPad clamps on it. It's in that cabinet up there, out of sight, out of the view of this camera. Not hiding it from anybody, just hiding. Yeah, I'm hiding it from everybody because Marilyn don't want to see my junk. I have it neatly stacked in there. In case I wanted to put another iPad on a stand. My latest project is going out and doing some commercial photography with this bracket that neatly houses my it clips right in here. This way. I have it upside down. The phone. This is like a spring-loaded, and then it has a little thingy to tighten it down. Once the spring loading holds the iPhone. Here's for a ultra-directional microphone. This is up here. Bracket on either side to hold. Yeah, this so you can really take good videos, of a parade or something like that. Yep. It was a little rainy at our Boca Raton parade, so I didn't bother going outside for the parade. It's like 1 block from this apartment building, condo building. Yeah, all right, so lipoflavonoid. Oh, so I was telling you, so I'm like a little on the stingy side. Just, 2-3 times a day. And they say, but you could take 3 times a day. So, as it turns out with me, with my advanced tinnitus, I'm taking like 4 3 times a day. So I'm taking 12 of those suckers every day. And it really suppresses the ringing in the ears. In my my former primary care physician, Dr. Stanley Weiner, upstanding citizen of Boca Raton. I had quadruple bypass surgery, and about 2 years later, he had triple bypass surgery. Yeah, he said he had stents on his stents. He had all kinds of stents. I guess he was trying to do everything possible not to do the bypass surgery, because it's pretty drastic surgery. It's not for the faint of heart. It's better that you don't know what they do to make that work. But they open you up, and it louses you up for a full week. That's for sure. It's slow going. The first time you go to the bathroom, you climb out of that bed with this thing that oh God. But they do a good job. I'll tell you, Dr. Brian Bethay did my work. He was absolutely super. And he and I had lots of conversations about my tinnitus, 8 years ago. And he didn't have a real good answer for what to do about it. Well, I don't know how old this lipoflavonoid has been floating around, but that is a magnificent solution, I will say. Jeez. I'll go back to my orders again. Details. I don't need order details, but I do. I want to touch on that. And I want to do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do a print screen on that and show this off. Yeah, there we go. Done. Save to photos. So now that instead of having to go to Amazon and bother with logging in and all that, now it's in my photo album. We've seen enough of Hassan. So I'm going to put a heart there. I'm going to hit this edit doodad there. I'm going to go over to crop, and I'm going to hit this up here in this corner. That tells you how do you want the perspective. I want square. There we go. So now we're done. I could, just for the heck of it, come up here to red and intensify that red just a little bit, and do the black, intensify that a little bit. It doesn't really help. I was trying to, the doctor recommended brand. We don't care about that. There we go. So now we have lipoflavonoid. It's December 8th, it's Sunday. It's 10:14 a.m. There is the Syrians jumping all over the tanks. There was apparently a tank that was operated by the Assad family, and it is pushed off the road and, I should say pulled off the road probably, and it's all burned out inside, meaning there's probably some soldiers in there that are pretty toasty. Yeah, those armored vehicles, boy, if you take a good shot of one of those, everybody inside, they just get roasted. These explosive charges, the explosions are so powerful, they make all your capillaries pop in your body, and you're like a dead frog. you're just dead instantly. All your capillaries pop because of the shock wave. Like when a plane goes through the speed of sound, it makes an explosion kind of a sound. And that's when the airplane starts going faster than the speed of sound. That separation of the sound from the jet airplane leaves a very dramatic explosion. If the jets flew real low, like 100 feet or 200 feet above your houses, it would break your windows just from that plane flying by faster than the speed of sound. The shockwave would pop your windows. Well, if it's going to pop the windows, it's going to pop, your capillaries. That's why those jets don't fly at 200 feet. Now, when they're flying in through, enemy territory, they don't care whose capillaries get popped, because they're more interested in having a sneak attack. Anyway, here's al-Assad getting machine gunned in the face. Some of them don't have real good accuracy with their rifles. They're missing. There are a few that have got this, his right eye has been obliterated pretty much. Anyway, so if he was still in power, that would not happen. Oh yeah, those people would be put in prison for a while. There you are. They knocked out this sign, and they're hanging up their flag. Now that they're under some other dictator. I mean, there'll be some, militia group that'll end up running the country, and hopefully, it's all a matter of who your friends are, I guess. Yeah. There's satellite TV right there, and a flag that's trying to get hoisted up from these guys that are in charge of flags. Oh boy. So I had to give you the instant news. And this map right here, he may be, hopefully, sometime today. Because I got this at, this was done at 10 p.m. yesterday. So, for sure, they would have gone to this location to find that airplane. Somewhere is SYR 9218. Yeah. They don't... As soon as you turn on the plane, that transponder is like on auto on. You have to manually turn it off. It is hardwired into your system. Here's everybody in their car celebrating. Yeah. There's Assad. There's Assad. There's the news breaking last night at midnight. Yeah, that's my moniker. Indicating when I captured these images. Doge. Best die yet. Permanent daylight savings time. Jeez. Thought I'd never say it. Marco Rubio has a bill sitting on the Senate's leader's desk saying, please put this through. It went through Congress, and it's just sitting on the senator's desk waiting for it to be passed to the president to adopt daylight savings time year-round. It'd give us more sunshine, less confusion. Elon Musk and Vivek the two billionaires tasked by President-elect Donald Trump to find ways to make government more efficient. Well, if everyone's, more daylight time is better for the kids, and it's better for everybody. Less accidents. Yeah. By the time Marco Rubio put that bill in the Senate's hands, I think Trump 45 was out of office. So then everyone turned sour, anything a Republican thought of. So now maybe we'll have year-round daylight savings time starting, 2025. So instead of, so in May, whenever they turn the clocks forward, they'll stay forward. They won't be turned back in November. And all of the state of Florida would have a uniform time instead of a piece of the panhandle on Central Time. And there are a number of other southern states that have all asked for daylight savings time full time. So the whole Southeast would be uniform. Yeah. Eventually the whole country should be, that's what Elon's going to say. The whole country should be, daylight savings time 12 months out of the year. All right, they're getting ready for blast off number 7. I think that happens in the first couple of weeks of January. So that's coming up. It's, it's on. There's a lot of things going on. It's a big, tall, it's huge. It's a huge, this silver part there is 234 feet tall. That's from that copper base. It's sitting on an elevated base so that the flame and so smoke can come. I'm trying to follow my finger at this bottom. Yeah. But this cylinder piece right here, 234 feet. Then you add to that another 160 feet for this piece. Actually, the launch vehicle. This silver part's a booster with 10 million pounds of fuel. Can you imagine? 10 million pounds? Now this sucker, not fully populated with internals, is 550,000 pounds. Oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't say that right. I don't know what that weighs. This silver part, when this thing caught the booster, it caught something that weighed 550,000 pounds. It went up with 10 million pounds because of all the weight of the fuel. When it landed back at, Boca Chica, Texas, that 10 million pounds of fuel was mostly expended. And a small portion of it was used to bring it back to Boca Chica, which in itself is magic. That they can steer this cylinder. It's just a big cylinder with 2 huge tanks and 33 engines on the bottom end of this thing. Yeah, geez. You see that X? That's the SpaceX. These are SpaceX buildings. And these shields, these are screens, I believe. So that if there was an explosion, a shockwave of some sort, that all these windows wouldn't blow out. You can imagine. You hate to even think of that. Yeah, let's not have all our windows blow out in case $30 million spacecraft, let's not blow out all our windows. Also, these other two big buildings, there's a bunch more of these boosters and this top part. And these are like manufacturing buildings. There are like 8 of these. There's like 4 more cylinders in each building, and they're improvements to this one. Every time they blast it off, they come up with another whole series of how to make it better. And these are huge. I mean, these are 30 feet in diameter. All properly curved stainless steel. Riveted. You can't see the markings in here, but it's all riveted just like an airplane. Jeez. And the inside from here to here is fuel tanks. Pressurized, chilled liquid oxygen, LOX they call it, and down here liquid methane. And the reason why they're using liquid methane is because methane is CH4. Methane, ethane, propane, butane. Do you remember that? If you had any chemistry classes or science classes that had chemistry in it. Methane, CH4. Methane, ethane, propane, butane. Butane is used in in-house, like cigarette lighters and things like that, or torches that you'd use in the kitchen for when you do flambés or whatever. I don't even know what to... if you were making flan, this Latin custard, well, you use a torch on the top to finish up the browning of the sugar on top of the custard. Yeah. And then immediately refrigerate it. Yeah. I mean, it's cooked in an oven, it gets hot. And then, then you crystallize the sugar on top of the flan. And you finish that off with a blowtorch. Yes. With a kitchen torch. That fuel is butane. Oops. I'm fiddling with this Smithsonian coin, silver dollar, which I found. I'm rummaging through my safe. United States of America proof. It's a proof coin. The background, if you can see, it's like a mirror-like finish. That's what happens when the mint does a double strike on the coin. It brings that out to a mirror finish, which is kind of amazing. Now, when it's a coin and it's in one's pocket and being jounced around in your pocket with a bunch of other coins, the background gets all nicked up. Yeah. Normally you don't nick up proof coins because they're double struck, meaning a super fine impression with a mirror finish. This was minted in 1996. It was a special edition, and I bought it. Yep. And now it's sitting on my broadcast desk right here, so that I have something to fiddle with when I need fiddling. I'm going backwards through. Here's Pete Hegseth. This is another piece of developing news. Peter apparently has a drinking and a female abuse problem. That's generally a problem when you're being appointed to the head of the It's a stressful position. Very, very stressful. And you can't be drinking with the boys and grab the ass and the girls. Pardon the expression. You got to behave yourself. And if you got a drinking problem, that's a tough thing to say, all right, I promise I won't drink on the job. Well, that's easier said than done. Particularly since you've been drinking and grab the ass and the girls for the last 20 years of your life. You've been drinking and smoking probably, while you're in the military for 20 years. And for the 20 years you've been out of the military, since you're 43, I think, it's not so much with the boys anymore. You're with the girls and the people in the bars and the in the high life, being a Fox News, even some of the Fox people have said that he's pretty handsy, which, they say you got Russian hands and Roman fingers, Roman nose, Someone told me that when I was a young whippersnipper. You got Russian hands and Roman fingers. Yeah, keep them in your pocket. Well, apparently Pete Hegseth does not. He gets a little grabby-assy or grabby whatever's hanging out, when he's at the bar at 1 a.m. Well, there's been 3 or 4 different news reports from different medias. I think ABC is really, and this is MSNBC. Donald Trump is standing by his pick. Well, he was standing by the Attorney General, Matt Gaetz. Well, you can stand by all you want. The Senate has to confirm your guy. And right now, latest head count is there are 4, possibly 8 senators that are saying, I'm not confirming this kid. I don't want. I've heard all I want to hear. I've met with him. I listened to the story. They're not all unsubstantiated attacks. I mean, it's we had an assault charge, in Southern California. She filed a police report, and went to the hospital, with a rape kit and everything else, and the evidence wasn't good enough for the Southern California jurisdiction to prosecute him for rape. You get charged with rape and then you get prosecuted and you're either found guilty or not. None of that happened except for the police report part. And that's pretty serious business when, I'm a lot older than 43. So I've been through, a good portion of my life cycle. And I've been at bars with boys and girls, my age and younger and older, I've been to big seminars. I've been to, a lot of fancy domestic hotels. Marilyn and I was the CEO of a bank. Marilyn and I were, we were major shareholders of a bank and a bank holding company. I should say the bank holding company, because the holding company owned 97% of the bank. But Phil and I owned 30, about 33% of the bank, a third of the bank, and Phil and I owned the number of shares equally. So I had 17.5%, he had 17.5%, round numbers. That's a serious amount of ownership in a bank as a person, as an individual. Anyway, so we stayed at all at the fancy hotels. I mean, 25 years ago I was making $300,000 a year. salary, not counting stock and options and all kinds of other things. $300K a year, it's actually $279, but who's counting? So when you're having, wasn't making $79,000 a year, I was making $279,000, 200 something, 70 something, right? That was a serious amount of money 25 years ago. That's a serious amount of money today. But add inflation and whatever, it's at least double, right? It's more than double in 25 years. It's probably triple. So that's $700,000 a year salary. You're in the upper end of the salary range of people making money. Not tops, but you're in the top 1% of the income earners out there. So we could afford to stay, in the finest hotels, which we did. We weren't staying in roadside motels. We were in the city, in the finest hotels. And you're in a seminar, you give a speech, well, let's meet down, let's meet at Daphne's Lounge. Let's meet at the main lounge at 5:30. So everyone gets back to the room and cleans up and puts on a change of clothes from whatever you were wearing. You get into your comfortable attire instead of your your three-piece suit. I had vests. I was a banker. What the heck? You got to look like a banker. And Marilyn knew how to dress me up. Thank God for that. Very good at picking out ties. I pick out a red one. Come on, Jenny. She had beautiful taste in clothing and things. Being a beautiful person herself, she knew how to decorate herself. She also knew how to decorate her husband. Yep, we've been together since February 19th. No, February 22nd. Yeah, my mother's birthday was February 19th, I think. Anyway, I think February 22nd. 222s? Or 219? God, I have to look that up. Yeah. It's somewhere there. I mean, it was like indelibly marked in my brain. And now I'm having a little schisms here. It was February 19, 2021. Something like, at 8 p.m. We were talking personally. Just the two of us. It was the four of us, including Karen Brown and Jill Thaggart, because Marilyn sat down at our table. There were three of us sitting there on a foretop in Daphne's Lounge, and there was an empty seat at the foretop. And Marilyn's table, way over there, they got up and left, and she was left by herself. So she carried her wine glass over and said, "May I join you all?" And of course she knew the other two real well, and she recognized me because I worked in the building in the real estate office, and she used to walk by all the time. I never really got up and met her, and I knew what her name was because my boss and my coworker knew her and spoke with her often. I never had a chance to. I was married, and then I was going through a divorce and all that, so I wasn't really that interested in new relationships. Surely when you're married, you're not interested in, new social relationships that could get you in trouble. So the best way to stay out of trouble is just stay away from trouble. Yep, So I stayed away from trouble. And, yeah, so that's, anyway, so, but when I was in the training program in February, I was well done with my divorce. We're just done with it, actually. It was like 2 weeks ago, back 44 years ago. Yeah. The mother of my 2 kids, Robin and Lee, who live in Maryland and Virginia. And I have 2 boys with Maryland here, and they're down here in Boca Raton. Yeah. Anyway, so we stayed in nice places, the whole backstory. So I know where... Darn it. Stop it. Get rid of there. I know... Now, Trump stayed in real exclusive places. Usually places he owned. Yeah. But I've stayed in lots of places like Pete Hegseth stayed in. And you got a lot of good-looking people, like these good-looking people that are around him right now. And he's holding the Fox microphone is in Pete's hand. You see, that's a Fox News placard on the microphone. That's what this is. This is a microphone placard. You see there, the microphone fits right in that hole. Yep. And this has my logo on it. When Marilyn was doing news broadcasts for me. I was the cameraman and she was the news lady. Oh my God, when we did the Obama-Romney debate at Lynn University. It was down here in gorgeous Boca Raton. So we got passes, to shoot the Obama-Romney debate, and we were in the spin room. So I was the camera guy, and Marilyn was the news lady with the microphone, and I made up this placard that fit the microphone and fit right in that hole. This is like foam, so it stick. Yeah, I slide right up this microphone. Yeah. Take the wire over and just slide that thing right back up against this cushion, which is it cuts down. It's supposed to cut down wind noise. It does. Cuts it down, doesn't eliminate it, and eliminates, the popping. If you pop your cylinders, like, where's your papa? So, if I didn't have this thing on there, that would blast the microphone, and it would blast your ears, and your speaker system and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I stayed in hotels like he was in, that's for sure. And the Fox people stayed in the nicer hotels, And, let's go down at 5:30 and have some cocktails. Well, if you're still floating around the bar at 11:30, which is well past the time you should have had dinner, that means you're liquored up pretty good. And apparently, when Peter gets liquored up pretty good, he starts grabbing the girls where maybe they don't want to be grabbed. I'm just saying. News reports have it that he gets pretty handsy. And that was from some of his friends at Fox who stayed in the hotels with him and knows how he behaves. So he's known for this. So, late in the night you see him coming. If you're not interested in being grabbed, you get the hell out of there. You say, honey, let's retire. or let's go to another part of this marvelous hotel. Yeah, they just get cruising. You know, the best way to prevent something is avoid it. Well, he was someone to avoid in late night and the bars. He's been excused from upwards of 4 different places where he has been fired. He's actually been let go out of 2 different funds. You know, the veterans funds, and there were 2 other times he was asked to leave under a severance agreement and a non-disclosure contract. You know, I'll give you 1 year's salary. You go, and here's the non-disclosure contract in which we're paying you $179,000. That number was in the media. And you keep your mouth shut about this whole affair, and so shall we. So everyone signs, you know, and witnessed and so forth. He gets $179,000, and everybody goes their separate ways. Well, he had 2 different organizations. At least one of them had that kind of a contract. The other one had a non-disclosure agreement, and nothing was mentioned about whether there was a payment made. And of course, he just resigned from Fox, and every employee in Fox signs a non-disclosure agreement, regardless of what your employment contract said. Yeah. You don't talk about what goes on in the family, off mic, in the studio when you're all preparing your news. Because, you know, you spend 7 hours a day, you know, for a 1-hour broadcast. You know, you're not just sitting around on a lounge chair. There's a lot of work in producing 1 fine hour of, FINE, you know, good, high quality news media. You know, it may take, you know, 7 hours of lots of people, you know, producers and, you know, the talent and you know, a lot of people who are working on this stuff, and they read the scripts, because all this stuff is, you know, they're all reading off a teleprompter. It goes right in front of the camera lens. It's a teleprompter. So all day long, you and your editors and your other news people all over the world are bringing information into the headquarters, if you work in a headquarters news guy. And it takes 8 hours, 7 hours for a good 1-hour production. And then when you're on live camera, you're reading off the prompter. Everybody is. The cameras keep switching from different people, and they have different segments of the script that they're reading. Yeah. And that way, everything that you say is refined, you know, because it's news media, and you want to make sure you get the news right, accurate. So everything is scripted. There's very little, you know, out of a 3-hour broadcast that the morning people have, there might be 10 minutes of unscripted yakking, you know, where they're off prompter. Same thing with like the 5. All of that is scripted. But there may be, out of the whole hour broadcast, maybe there's 5 times 3. Maybe everybody gets a minute and a half where they could say it any way they want to without having to read it with a scripted teleprompter. But you see all those cameras, they're all teleprompters. Now, in network news, they're using them all the time. And their legal department wants them to use them all the time. Their executive producers want them, you know, Brett Baer, He's reading off a teleprompter when he does the news. He's not remembering all this stuff because you may misremember, or just misspeak. Or mispronounce a name, deal with like Brett. He's the head news anchor that does all kind of national and international news, and you got all these, names of leaders or their friends or whatever. The teleprompter also gives you a little clue on how to pronounce the name, because some of these names are hard to remember how to pronounce them, multisyllabic. In my case, it's biochemistry words. With the news anchors, it's the names of foreign leaders. And what the heck? How do you pronounce that name? Mumbamba Zawadi? It gets complicated sometimes. Well, the teleprompter helps them how to say the words. Now, they practice these scripts, and they got producers up in the sound room that are listening to how you're, destroying this guy's name. And they'll, with their microphone, they'll say, Brett, you want to say that name again? You missed it first time. Brett, you want to say that again? You missed it for the third time. Come on, we don't want to be live. And you're saying the name, that's like chicken soup here. Come on. They'll joke around like that, I've been in the studios. It's actually kind of fun because you hear the speaker way back in the upper ceilings of the studio, and it says, "Brett, you might have said." Oh gosh, it's fun. These guys, they live hard, and when I was in the banking business, I used to tell everybody, work hard and play hard. You don't have time to waste. Do not waste time. Work hard and play hard. All right. Speaking of playing hard, this is Sunday. So Scotty Scheffler is probably finishing up breakfast because he's in the Bahamas, and I think he, as of last night when he finished. See here, he's not finished. This is the front nine. He's already played the back nine. 7 birdies out of 9 holes. Can you imagine? And he just got a birdie on the fourth hole. It's a par 4, and he got a 3. In one of these other holes, I understand he got another birdie. No bogeys. And he's at minus 15. And I don't know how the field was. But he was ahead. See, now here he's ahead by 2. Now, Justin Thomas is chasing him. My son is rooting for Justin Thomas. I'm rooting for Scotty Scheffler, the number 1 golfer in the world right now. Last year he made about $60 million in prize money and the other goodies that you get from, like the guys who make all this gear with that logo. You might get $10,000 to just wear that hat with that logo on it, as opposed to that hat with no logo on it. Yeah. They sell that space. Some of these guys, he's got the same logo on his shirt. So he's getting paid to display those logos. Some guys, they got them on the side shield, they got them on the front thing, and that. Some manufacturers say, I'm the only one on your shirt and your hat. And I will pay you $20,000 if you wear my hat and my shirt. A nice little logo on the shirt, everyone will notice. Doesn't need to be some big 6-inch billboard on your back. A nice logo. I guess that's like a Nike logo or something. Marilyn would know. I don't know. Marilyn takes care of my hats and shirts. Yeah. Do I have any? I got a couple of hats up here. Let's see. What's this one? Oh, this is. I bought some rum at the wine store. The Island Company Rum Crew. There's my hat. If you bought a bottle of their rum, they gave you a hat. So I was a sucker and bought the one. There's a Newsmax hat. Everybody's got to have one of those. What else they got here? This is the Yard. Yeah, see that logo with the whale? Like on my shirt. My daughter got me all this stuff. She sends me big boxes of this marvelous clothing. And if you're viewing and going, here is a rotary thing that Marilyn would wear, but it's broken. This is the second one that they sent, and they don't package it well. And it's supposed to be like this, and then the ladies, it fits, right on top of the ear and around the forehead, and it's a rotary. But it's. I said, screw it. I mean, I sent this back 2 or 3 times. How many times are you going to send it back? So we got a broken rotary thing. So I didn't have the heart to throw it away. I mean, it's a beautiful, it's a fine embroidery job on this hat. It's not like painted on. It's embroidered, see, through to the back. This is a quality piece. But the plastic in here is all broken. So we may run into somebody that can, put the piece in and resew that up. I should go to my dry cleaners. They'll know what to do. Or not. Or I'll find the band, and or if I have an old crummy thing that has a band like that, I'll cut that plastic out and give it to my my dry cleaner, because they have like sewing people back there, and let them put the band in this hat. I'll get it working. Yeah, that's too. I didn't have the heart to pitch it. It's too well made, except for the plastic. It's apparently very fragile, and just the shipping. What do you call it? It's poor shipping practices out of whoever shipped that thing with Amazon. I don't think Amazon originated the shipment. I think it was, a third-party seller, and they just put it in an envelope, and someone put pressure on the top of it and broke the band, and then I broke it in 6 more places. Since this is the 3rd or 4th one I got, I just figured, what, I was just going to break this all up and see if I can find another hat to swap that plastic piece out of, another cap, whatever you call it. Anyway, so it's 11 o'clock, so on the Golf Channel, see right here, Golf Live. I wonder, let's log in here. Let's shrink this back. Let's get out of the photo album. This is live television, folks, so give me a break. So I'm pulling down the middle of the screen. Oh, wait a minute. I know where it is. Let's put, Xfinity. Hit Live TV. And then right down here should be the golf. PGA Golf Tour. It's on in 30 minutes. Well, here's the Golf Central pregame. Let's touch that. Let's watch it. Yeah, I think you can see it. I don't know if the audio will play through or not. Let me turn down. No. And since I have this plugged in to the...
What do you mean? $1,200 a month carpet? You can afford this?
Am I hearing this? Because of this?
Thought we only had like 2 or 3. You guys need to cut down on your expenses. How?
Bear with me.
It shows all of your expenses in one place and helps you monitor your money.
Just
You're not
like
spending hundreds of dollars a year on things. Take control of your money.
Oh, microphone play through. And I have this playthrough is checked. Let's use. There we go. Now.
One of the greatest aspects of the U.S. Open is that it is exactly that. Open.
Let me just pause.
Of the 156 players in the field at Pinehurst, 73 advanced through U.S. Open qualifying. Looking for that elusive first major, a first in a long time, or validation. The field's full of players dreaming of holding the trophy on Sunday.
Oh, are you kidding me?
The board is set for an electrifying.
You should be able to be hearing that. I got everything turned up.
Store closes in 5. We just
Full blast.
grab a few more gifts.
Oh, even the commercials playing through. This is a delayed broadcast. Sort of.
I made my family disappear.
Ah, look at that. See, it's blocked out. You can't see it.
Sorry guys, just in there having the best night of my life.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this?
It won't. You can hear it, but you can't see it.
It's a beauty.
Get in the car, boys.
Ooh, look at that.
Bottom of the hour, live action. 11:30 Eastern, right here on Golf Channel. And Justin Thomas, he'll tee off at 12:24, playing alongside world's top players Scotty Scheffler, Tom Kim, an incredible 62 yesterday. That included a double bogey. He's still very much in the mix as well as we continue to show you players in competition
So,
this final day. This
Justin
is
Thomas is leading.
for money and
Well,
world ranking
my son is rooting for
points.
Justin Thomas, so
Tiger
that'll
Woods,
be
25th edition
that'll be
of the
interesting.
World Cup. He is not playing
Yeah.
this week. Still recovering a bit from
I'll have to work on that photograph.
in September. Said he is not tournament ready yet. Has said whether or not he's playing the PNC
He's selling
Championship.
cars
We shall
today.
see. That's coming up.
He's a sales manager at Lexus.
So you'll see if
Sorry.
Tiger Woods is going to play again in 2024. Or if he's going to wait till 2025. Here's Akshay Bhatia. He's going to start a 5 off the lead. Is that too far back? No. We saw a good low number from Tom Kim. Can he put one up today?
All right.
As we continue here on Golf Central PK.
So I have to wait for those images to come through here. And listen, we've been talking. Yeah, 11 minutes.
When a wedge masterfully
11
blends art
11 p.m.
and science,
9 a.m.
craftsmanship
2 hours.
with innovation,
We were on the air.
you create an opus
Right. That's
designed to
December.
give you exceptional spin, versatility, and feel for a masterpiece of your own.
This is a
New
simulcast.
Opus wedges
I don't know if
from
you remember.
Callaway.
We're listening to Callaway.
Something amazing is
I'm
happening.
sorry you can't see it. Yeah, that's
Data
where it
is bringing
goes.
creativity to life.
I found
That's
out what I
because
wanted.
CDW showed animation.
We can cancel that. Oh boy. And yeah, I gotta go here. Take this off pause. There we go. There we go. That's not too loud. Hopefully. Yeah. But this is a simulcast. Because Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitter Live are all carrying this broadcast at the same exact time, live and in color. So it's like a video, I guess if you're not watching it live, it's a podcast. Well, you can watch a live podcast, Remember when Brogan did it with Trump? I watched that live. That was a 3-hour conversation, back and forth between two adults talking about his policies, and he'd mix in a little bit of his personal life, and then Brogan would react to some of that. And another thing I didn't really talk about, of course, you got this crazy murder where, look at this gun. That's a 9mm, I believe. They never actually said that's a 9mm, but it has like a built-in silencer, and it's supposed to be a real quiet shooting gun, which still means it's like 120 decibels instead of 180 decibels. So it is a good bit quieter, but it's not like it, in the news, or I'm sorry, in the movies where you hear it go, no, baloney. Yeah, no. It's a flame retarding, so it cuts down on the flame from the explosion of the bullet, when it emerges from the rifling. And it has 6 or 8 baffles in there which tend to suppress the sound. They call them suppressors. They don't call them, silencer is a like, of the, when you go to get set up in your movies, tend to exaggerate. So they call them silencers, but the people in the gun business, they call them suppressors. I have one. I've showed it to you. I got one right here. In this box. It took 13 months to get approved to have this suppressor. It was on sale. It was like, I bought it years ago. And here it is in the box. Open it this way, open it this way. It's chambered for 9mm. It's made by, it says the Silencer Co. there, which is, this lens. Let's see if I can focus it this way. So you can see this. There you go. See, Silencer Co. There we go. Now it's in focus. That's the end of it. You'll look right through there. See? Oh, that was good. So you can see right down the barrel of that thing. And this is what screws into the, the front end of the pistol. The gun is this big and the silencer is this big. It's not too far off of what you see here. Let's close this sucker back in here. So I have a rifle that can shoot 9mm. And I have 4 or 5 pistols that shoot 9mm. Got a gun in every room. Yeah. With active clips, but nothing in the barrel. Nothing chambered. But you see here the silencer. Whoops. Cancel that. Discard changes. There we go. See how I can reverse that. I was going to crop it. I don't want to crop it. See, so there's the There's the gun portion. Looks like maybe a 4-inch barrel. It's live TVs. All right, I'll look for that news on it. Yeah. There it is. Oh, sorry, you need to do it on this one so you can see. There you go. See, there's the 9mm bullet that was laying on the floor, which the police took a picture of it, and there's a little stanchion there saying, you know, number 39 or whatever. That's a 9mm casing, I think. And there's the, you know, to load it, you pull back that spring-loaded thing, and that loads a round into the chamber. And that's the trigger, of course. And then the equal amount of you know, 6-inch, 7-inch, and then you got 7-inch silencer or suppressor. Police say this is a, if you go into a gun store or something like this, it costs you a couple $1,000. That's not a cheap. And to get a gun with a suppressor on it, you know, it's a year's worth of background checking. So, and you have to have your photographs associated with that, you know, when you get, if that was bought properly. Police say this is the face of the killer of the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, who, by the way, makes $10 million a year salary. He was seen at an Upper West Side hostel before coming into Midtown, standing right in front of a Hyatt. I think it was a Hyatt. And he was giving a speech to a bunch of the senior people at United Healthcare. You know, it's like year-end stuff. You know, thank you very much for last year's work or this year's work. That's the best picture they got so far. And with the facial recognition software that let's face it, the New York City Police Department is the largest police department in the United States, with like 40,000 sworn officers. 40,000. That's like a city within the city. It's just the police policing the 12 million people. So when you divide one by the other, let's do it. Let's get the order of magnitude here. Let's say you got 12 million people at any given time. Whoops, too many zeros. Okay, divided by 40,000. All these numbers are guesses. But they're better guesses than many. Equal sign. That's one person, one policeman for every 300 citizens. Or anybody's making up that 12 million people in Manhattan at any one time. So maybe it's one officer per 500 or one officer per 1,000. You know, it's something like that. Just so you know. In the United States. There could be some large Chinese cities that have a bigger police department. I don't know. But in the United States and Europe, 40,000 sworn officers. They're all trained and this and that. I mean, it's a huge thing to manage. But they have the best facial recognition software that money can buy. And they've got a budget to buy it. You know, a lot of your security departments, security services, in what do you call it? Football arenas. You know, you could go to a big NFL football game. They got cameras in every major thoroughfare. Walking, you know, when you're coming through the gates, when you're walking down major corridors inside the arena, they got cameras, probably 20 cameras, 30 cameras, 50 cameras. And as you're walking by, walking through, it's picking up your face, and it's using a very advanced, fast acting facial recognition. And if it pops up and it's comparing that with, you know, it's comparing that facial with you know, let's say 1,000 bad guys, terrorists that are known to be in the area or whatever. And if it pops with one of those 1,000, because you want the software to be really fast acting, so you don't want it, you know, comparing an instantaneous video image against 20,000 known terrorists. You want it just with the top 1,000, let's say, or the top 500, so that it can be really quick, you know, because there's only so much computing power that's available, you know, in a stadium setting. And you don't want to have it going searching a big database through the internet, even though if you have a really fast connection, it's not fast enough. There's too much data. Anyway, so they can tell if a bad guy is in the stadium. Well, New York City can do the same thing. Put this guy's face and put it through all the known photographs of faces like this that are in every single, you know, driver's license, you know, in Atlanta, in Georgia, not just Atlanta. Oh, you know, the whole Southeast. And you can, you know, that's enough. That should be enough. They don't like teeth. You know, you can smile, but no teeth. That's the passport requirements. And the reason why, it louses up the facial recognition software. There you go. You learned a new thing today. Is that the reason why they don't want you smiling when you take a passport photo or any kind of a government photo? No smile, no teeth. You want to grin a little bit with not showing any teeth. Your eyes have to be open for the facial recognition software to function properly. Teeth, louse it up. Yeah, that's a true thing. I know that. My infinite knowledge. The knower of all things. Not true. Not true. But some people think I know more than that's normal. How come you know so much? Because I read a lot. I read everything. As a kid, I was reading the encyclopedias because novels bored me. So I started on letter A. And I remember the World Book Encyclopedia and the Encyclopedia Britannica, the letter S. is a huge. The volume is that thick. Yeah. Oh gosh. Letter T is a lot thinner than the letter. Yeah, we just have all the books lined up. And my mother was a language student, so she had the Encyclopedia Britannica. I said, Mom, I don't like that. I like World Book. She said, oh, that figures. I said, this is written for a 30-year-old. Come on. I'm 10, I want to read the encyclopedia, but I'd like to start with, how about World Book? Can you get me World Book? My father was unhappy with that remark. But, have you ever looked at both encyclopedias? I mean, Encyclopedia Britannica was certainly, before all this internet stuff, was a volume of information that was unbelievable. I mean, to be able to search the World Book Encyclopedia, just by your fingers. Search, research. We used to call that research. Now, with Google and Chrome and, different search engines. Now, they do a fast search, through the entire, everything that you can get, through or on the internet. That's kind of amazing. All right. It's 11:22. I can see that in the top. Yeah, that means it's all out of focus because I was tuned in on showing you Silencer Co. So we'll focus that. I focus that to this keyboard area. And that's pretty fine focus. There we go. And it's 11:22. And I'm just going to give that a little turn that way. There we go. I'm tapping this camera. There we go. Yeah, just get that out of view. There we go, that's good enough. This is holding up my American flag. This whole back part of my little studio, I got an American flag, an 18-inch American flag. From that beautiful company that advertises on TV, Yeah. So that's like, I guess 18 inches by 14 inches. Oh. And, embroidered and sewed. By those beautiful people that advertise the flags on TV, which I'm sure you've seen. All right. So, Scotty Scheffler just came up on my board here, so I'll crop in on this. The Hero World Challenge in Albany, Bahamas. I've been there. Played golf there with the president of an insurance company. I was a senior advisor. I managed their investment portfolio, which is, big numbers. I made them 4 or 5% better interest than the advisors that they had. So they said, Jimmy, we like what you're doing. I made them like $20 million just by shifting a couple of portfolio items. Safe, all safe. It's all cash type investments. All right, amigos. You have a good, this is Sunday, so I'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Yep, I'll be there. We'll see if we can pick up any news information from, the final news broadcast of Sunday, which by noon, other than breaking news. By 1 o'clock, in a couple hours, there won't be much more news spread around unless something blows up somewhere, or they find, the former president of Syria's plane wreck, if it did in fact wreck. The news is so raw they weren't even sure. It just disappeared from the screen. This application that tracks all the flights all over the world. FlightAware, that's really quite outstanding. But they said it went through Homo and then did a U-turn and lost altitude fast. That's not the glide path that you want. That's usually doesn't ring well for survivors. Hurry up and get all those gold bars, though. I'm sure there are people racing. If there's a crash site, there's got to be a bag of money. Of course, it may be all in cinders. But for sure, there's some gold. Because the currency is, currencies fluctuate. Particularly, now if it's U.S. currency, you're good. So it's a whole bunch of $100 bills wrapped up and strapped, so to speak, in $10,000 bundles. And then those are rebundled in some other kind of bundle. And you got $10 million worth of cash. That'll weigh a couple hundred pounds. And I think we figured 12 million in gold would weigh about 300 pounds. So it could be 250-pound satchels of gold, 150 pounds per bag. Yep. Or 300-pound bags of gold. 4 million each. I'll take one, you take one, and you take one. Everybody will have 4 million in gold. When you start throwing all that shit on an airplane, now this is a 4-engine jet. 2 engines on each wing, close together. It's a configuration I'm not used to seeing. So there should be lots of thrust, but these planes have limited amount of baggage capacity, and you got to stuff with people. You're escaping a country. You're probably in there with your close family members and their baggage, some rifles, ammunition, maybe the load shifted. Maybe they didn't strap down, you got to strap down that baggage, in some way. Or maybe the strapping broke loose. And all of a sudden, the plane was going up in altitude and it all slid back, because it was high density baggage. So there was actually extra room to hold baggage, but not weight. It was probably overweight. So they're ascending, and there may have been a shift in the luggage, which was, could be gold bars and, solid bags of cash and rifles, ammunition, and if all that baggage shifted back, it would it'd bring the plane down. You got to tie that baggage, just like you put your seatbelts on. That's for a reason, because if the plane had to do some kind of maneuver and everybody fell out of their seats and went forward, the center of gravity of that plane would change rapidly, and the pilot couldn't trim it fast enough, so he'd be pulling back on the stick, trying to keep the plane from going down. If all the weight went forward, then the nose goes up, or down rather. So if all the weight shifts forward, the nose goes down. You don't want that. All right, goodbye. See you tomorrow. We'll see if we can find out where that plane is, or where Assad is. He escaped the country for sure. Bye-bye.